Weekly mining news. Welcome to Australian Mining for New Starters. And as usual, we'll do the week's news, we'll do the prices, and then we'll have a chat about where you can go and what you can do to get in as a new starter. But to start with, we will have a look at Argyle shutting down after 37 years. The reason that I wanted to cover this is, apart from the fact that it's shutting down, is just to let new starters to the industry know that there's an old saying in mining: from the day you start a mine, all you're doing is putting yourself out of a job. And that's exactly what's happened here. And you've got to remember that every mine site that you start on, that mine's only got so many days in it, and it's going to shut down. So every day that you do is another day closer to it shutting down. Now, everybody that's working in the hard rock underground space of this mine will not have a problem walking into a new job at the moment. There's significant opportunities around for everybody, and that's why it's not a big deal that it's shutting down. There's lots of places for people to go, but I just wanted to make sure people understood that in mining, you are literally putting yourself out of a job every day that you go to work. It's one day closer to the mine shutting down. Alright, so the next one that I wanted to talk about is Sandfire having to come out and talk about the Chinese import ban, because this has happened. The Chinese government has used state media to say that they're going to ban a few things. So it's lobsters, red wine, they've said sugar, coal, a bit of coal, and also some copper. Now, Sandfire's response to that is that if they want to do, they've talked to their Chinese counterparts, and that's not happening as far as the Chinese are concerned. But if it does happen, they've got other customers that they can sell it to. And it goes into saying that they've got Japan, Korea, Philippines, and Europe that are all interested in taking more shipments of copper. So this is something that people just need to get their heads around. We produce a quality product, and if the Chinese don't want it, somebody else will. I suppose the real testament to that is the barley. The Chinese banned it. The price fell significantly, down to $220 a tonne. However, Saudi Arabia have come back in, and they've bought up most of the barley crop, and the West Australian farmers have got a price of $260 per tonne, which I saw some local news about, and they all seem pretty happy with the $260 a tonne price, considering that China was paying $270, so they've dropped $10 a tonne, but it's probably a little bit more secure market, and it just shows you that if you've got a quality product, then people around the world will buy it. Now, lastly in the news, I just wanted to talk about the mining industry has now become the largest slice of the Australian economy. It is a huge part. It's $200 billion part of the Australian economy. And if you want a job going forward with this recession that's happening and the layoffs around the country, then mining's the way to go. If we go over to the gold price, you can have a look at why it's being driven up so much. Iron ore price is significantly high. If we have a look at that, it's still nice and high. Coal, unfortunately, has dropped again, so it looks like some of the coal mines on the eastern seaboard are going to be marginal at that price. However, gold, copper and nickel. Copper is a bit over 9,300 Australian a tonne, and nickel's well over 21,200 Australian a tonne. So at those prices and an ounce price of 26.70, everybody's making lots and lots of money. It's all significantly profitable, and that's where your new starter jobs are. So if we talk about what you can do as a new starter to get in, one of the big things people like to talk about is going to a mining town. So I bought up realestate.com and plugged Kalgoorlie in and did the rentals, and as you can see, it's $420 a week for a 3x2. The prices are a bit up and down, and I think that represents the fact that Kalgoorlie is switching gears at the moment. It's going from treading water, which it's done for probably the last 5 years, and it's swinging back into a boom phase. Now, a lot of people don't like to hear that the first time that I went to Kalgoorlie in 94, 95, you were paying $1,000 a week for a house because of the boom that was going on at that stage. And back in 2006 and 2007, some of these 4x2s that you see on here and 3x2s, they were significantly higher. It was hard to get a 4x2 in Kalgoorlie for under $700 a week. Now, what's going to happen is that as the prices increase, the gold mining companies and the mining companies in general, the maintenance companies, they'll come in and they will start paying their employees a supplement to add to the rent, or they will rent their house and the house becomes part of the package. Anyway, that's what they did back in the day. I suspect that the prices are on their way up purely because of the amount of rentals that are available as well. Normally in Kalgoorlie there's a couple of hundred, but at the moment there's only 70, as you can see it when I finally scroll back up to the top. But like anything else, see 77 results. So like anything else, the big thing that we preach at this channel is to know what you're getting yourself into and go prepared. So if you want to have a crack at hard rock underground, and that's where most of the jobs are around Kalgoorlie at the moment, there's lots of underground mines looking for offsiders, nippers and truck drivers, then you really need to know what you're going to get yourself into. And you can use the 4 online courses plus the seminar to prep yourself and give yourself all the tools you need to get in. And what do I mean by that? Well, it covers stuff that people need to know for the industry, but often doesn't get explained very well during the first couple of months or weeks on site. And that's duties of employers, employees, the duties of the mines, what's the standard is, and it just goes through absolutely everything about how the mine works, what you're going to have to do, what scaling is, safety, and once you get on site and surviving that first 6 months, and that's all in the first course basic. So as you go through, there's detailed information in each course that just goes through and teaches you everything the employer wants a new starter to know. If you study hard and you know your information, then going to a mining town can be a real option. But I wouldn't encourage anybody to just go on a wing and a prayer. This is where all the gold mines are around the country, so it's a good example of where you sort of can hit. But if you're just driving across the country or up to the top here, just on a wing and a prayer to get a job because you think you'll be able to get a start, people that go in green, it's 3 out of 5 fail in the first 6 months. The industry is totally brutal for people that don't know what they're getting themselves into. It just becomes like a big factory where they throw a whole heap of people against the wall and they see who sticks. So it literally is survival of the fittest. So anything that you can do like this to put yourself ahead of the game is really worth doing. Now, if you come over to Seek and you type underground in, you'll see all the jobs come up. And a lot of the jobs are for around Kalgoorlie or fly out of Perth, while there are a number of jobs on the East Coast, and I would encourage people that are already on the East Coast to look for East Coast jobs. Once the border opens up, then places like this, and of course KCA, who the sponsor has got their partnership program with, are always looking for people that have completed the training and can show that they've understood it and can answer the mining questions in the interview, and they're looking for nipper and truck drivers around Kalgoorlie. If you want into the industry, my advice is to go where the new starter jobs are, and that's in exploration and hard rock underground, and to give the employers what they want, somebody that knows how their mine works. And again, you can use the sponsors training for that. So if you could like and subscribe the channel and share the news around, I hope that information helps. If you've got any more questions that you want answered, please send them through. Thanks.